Hello and welcome back to Crafted by Corie. If you're new, I'm Corie. Welcome to my channel. If you're returning, thank you as always for being here. You are fantastic. This is Minis Challenge Week. We've got some additional crafters that are going to be part of a whole playlist. More on that to come. So for now, let's go ahead and get right on into the crafting. DIY number one. Okay, I have a bunch of little mini Christmas ornaments, and then this is, I think they call it package wrapping. It's like a heavy baker's twine, this is the way I would describe it, in red and white. And I have another ribbon there that I end up swapping out for something else a little bit later, but you will see what I do. So I am just going to start stringing and tying these little bulbs onto my, I'm going to call it baker's twine because that's just easier, and just did a simple knot. And then I'm going to continue to string these on in a random order and tie them off maybe 3 or 4 inches apart. I tend to do everything by eye, so I didn't really measure it. So I'm just trying to make sure that they're all evenly spaced. You can make them as close together or as far apart as you wish, but just making a little garland for our tiered tray. Once I had all of the bulbs on that I wanted to use, I went about trying to create little bows. So this is a ribbon that can be found at the Dollar Tree. This particular spool may have gotten picked up at Hobby Lobby, I'm not exactly sure. But I am using a piece of the baker's twine to try and tie it off. It's definitely easier to do this kind of a bow with a chenille stem, but after I created it, I'm kind of setting it on there. I didn't like the way it looked. So I set that aside and I pulled out this other gift trim. I guess that's what it was called, not package wrap, but gift trim. And this one's actually elasticized, which is fun and a little harder to work with when you're just trying to tie a bow. So I played around with it a little bit. I just created a tie your shoelace bow here, and I liked the way that looked much better. So once I decided that was going to work, I went ahead and trimmed that off. And now these ends will fray. So I'm just kind of sticking the end into my hot glue nozzle. I'm literally just sticking it in there to get it coated with a little teeny bit of hot glue, just to keep it from fraying. I'm just kind of twirling the ends around my fingertips to just make sure that the glue is adhering to the little fragments of the ribbon, for lack of a better term. So I went ahead and created little bows for each of the ornaments and applied them with a little teeny tab of the hot glue. And that was it for this one. I think it turned out super cute. I hope that you like it too. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments and see what you think. As I mentioned earlier, today is the Minis Challenge. Super excited to see what everybody has created. There will be a playlist. There is a link in my description box, and we have one final Minis Challenge coming up in December. So I hope that you will stay tuned for that one as well. And DIY number 2. All right, for this DIY, I have some decals that I had received from my sweet subscriber Rose. This is a little wood panel. It came in a pack of 6 from the Dollar Tree. I've got just this one last one. I'm going to have to be on the hunt for more of those because they've worked out really well for me. And then I have those dominoes, which are actually also on that thin wood. I don't know if it's balsa wood or if I'm using the wrong term, but I'm going to be using one of those in a little bit. So I am peeling away all of the excess stuff from this sticker. I'm removing everything that I will not be using. So kind of treating it like I would vinyl from my vinyl cutter. I'm peeling that all away. And once I had the bulk of it removed, I did come in, and again, I just treated it like my vinyl, and I'm using my little pick. I don't know what you'd call that, but to weed out all of the little teeny tiny pieces and just got it ready to be applied to my design. I did end up using it just like I would vinyl. I was a little nervous about how that might work out, but it actually worked out quite well. So here I've got two of the dominoes. You can see that they're the same type of wood as my little panel piece here. I am going to ultimately just use one of those, painting everything with my plaster chalk paint. It's just a really pretty creamy off-white color. And I'm going to give everything 2 coats because I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and covered. And then once it was all dry, I was ready to apply my decal. So I'm using some transfer tape that I've used quite a few times because I was nervous about it sticking too much to the decal and destroying it. But I didn't need to worry because it actually worked out quite fine. So just very gently peeling this apart, or peeling the backing away, I should say. And then I'm ready to transfer it right down onto my little panel that I had painted earlier. So just smoothing this out. I'm not rubbing it super hard because, again, I just want to make sure I could remove the transfer tape without any issue. So I'm going to put the backing back down. This is the backing that I just pulled the decal off of, and I'm using my burnishing tool to help rub it down. Again, I didn't want to press my luck with the transfer tape and end up damaging the decal, or stickers is really what they are. So now I am going to use that domino as my little stand for this. So I was just trying to figure out exactly where I needed to apply the glue. I used the letters as my guide. I needed to apply it between the Y and the T. And so I just put a thin little bead of glue down, and now I'm going to hold it in place until it is cool enough to stand on its own. And that's it for this one. Again, super cute, but let me know what you think. DIY number 3. Okay, this is a Christmas card that I received. It was either I think it was last year. And I held on to it because I thought it was so pretty. And then I have a little crate from the Dollar Tree, and then that is the envelope that the card came in. So, yeah, I think it came in that card. Or I think that card came in it. I'm noticing that there's, oh, sorry about my head. I'm noticing that there's no writing on the outside of the envelope. So I can't remember if I met up with my friends and received it that way, or I'm not sure. But at any rate, I'm going to be using the envelope as well. So I'm going to trim this down to just get the one panel from the envelope. And I'm trying to keep it as, well, the size of the crate, really, right? The little bin, whatever you want to call that. I'm going to trim down the front part of the card as well. And you can see I'm using the red as a matte, essentially, for my design. And I thought it was fine like this, but I honestly wanted to have a little bit more of the red showing. So I went back and trimmed down another little bit off of my card part. So that revealed a little bit more red. I just thought that that was a little bit more bold and fun and Christmassy. And now I am using my double-sided tape. I was concerned about using Mod Podge or something like that because I thought it would just make my envelope bubble because it just isn't a super heavy paper, and I didn't want it to wrinkle up on me. So I opted to use the double-sided tape, not just to apply the joy to the envelope, but also I'm going to use it to apply everything right here to the little wooden crate. And I wasn't sure how well it would stick, but it worked beautifully. And this double-sided tape happens to be from Dollar Tree. It comes 2 to a pack. There's not a huge amount of the double-sided tape on it, but I find it a fantastic little tool, especially given the price. And I love having that in my crafting stash. But that's going to be it for this one, this little shelf sitter. Let me know what you think of this one. I think it's super cute. DIY number 4. Okay, these are little gift tags. I am trying to remember. I think they are from the Dollar Tree, actually. And I'm going to grab 2 of each of these designs. I had picked up a whole bunch of different gift tags. I think it was last year when they had them in stock because they were all so super pretty. And I've made ornaments out of them and various things. We're going to do some little sandwich boards for our tier tray. So essentially just little stand-up signs that are cute and decorative. This is I think it's called a scoring tool. I'm not positive. So it basically puts a welt into the paper without cutting it. And that just helps to be able to fold it. It makes it easy to crease it. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue and put those back to back or front to front, however you want to say it, and just gluing that little tab there at the top. And then when I open it up, you can see that it is going to be complete, but it's not standing on its own. So I will be adding a little bit of ribbon to the inside in a second. You'll see what I do to ensure that it stands up on its own. But then I'll go ahead and do the same thing to the other. Now, if you only wanted to do one of these, you could certainly do it double-sided. I did consider doing that, and then ultimately I decided I wanted to make 2 of the little signs because I thought they would be super cute. So just getting that glued together. And this one also is going to have an issue standing on its own. So I grabbed out some ribbon from the Dollar Tree. This just happens to be like a lace ribbon because it was ivory and I thought that would be good. Of course, now that I'm editing the video, I'm thinking, oh, you know, it might have been better if I'd gotten a green ribbon because it would have been a little bit more camouflage, seeing as the inside of my little signs here, they're green. But this worked out just perfectly fine. So I'm going to glue a little bit or add a little bit of glue to the inside on either panel and adhere the ribbon. I was just trying to decide if I wanted it going up or going down. It probably does not matter, to be quite honest. But this is going to help keep the sign together. So it'll be able to fold flat for storage, but it won't be able to open all the way up any longer. So it will stay upright and not split open and fall down. But again, I think these turned out super cute. Going to do the same thing with the other one. And then I was looking at them once I had them created and I thought, you know what, it needs a little something more. I wasn't crazy about the tops, so I decided I was going to decorate the tops of my little signs here. These are from the Hobby Lobby. I had gotten them on, I'm going to call it clearance. They weren't really clearance. It was like 70% off. It was after Christmas last year. And I went and got a whole bunch of stuff. At least I think it was after Christmas. I don't know. It was when they had their really deep sale when they were trying to get rid of everything. I think it might have been after Christmas. But gonna just trim down a bunch of these little pieces of greenery tie and create like a little swag. I'm not sure if that's the right term. I think it's a swag, but just a mini swag with my berries. Now you might be wondering why I cut it into 4 pieces instead of just using 2 longer pieces to crisscross. I did consider doing it that way, but I wanted all of the needles, the pine needles, to be facing the right way. So, you know, I don't know. It's just the way that I opted to do it. But I suppose you could also use 2 pieces and then bend both of them like a V shape and put the points of the V's together and tie them off that way. That would also be another way to do it. But no, it wouldn't, because then half of it would be facing the wrong way. Again, the needles would be running the wrong way. So anyway, that's why I did it the way that I did it. And I am just using the wire within these little berry stems. I don't know, double-ended berry stems to tie everything together. And then I am going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of it and set that right down on top. I'm just going to hold it there for a minute while it cools so that it doesn't fall off or go sideways. And once it's cool enough, I can let it go. And then I did the same thing with the other. Just put it together the exact same way and now attaching it in the same manner. I think these turned out super cute, but let me know what you think. DIY number 5. Okay, I have a little terracotta pot from the Dollar Tree. I think they came in a pack of 3. That's my crimson chalk paint, and then I do have the Dollar Tree ties. Now, the one that I used in the last video, in the last project, those ties were from the Hobby Lobby, and you might have noticed that they weren't as fluffy and the needles were shorter. The Dollar Tree ones are longer, and I actually wanted that for this project. This ribbon is also from the Dollar Tree, and once I had my terracotta pot all painted and dry, as you can see, I did paint the inside of it too, just because that's the way I roll. I am using some hot glue to attach the ribbon around the top of the pot, and this was just a happy coincidence. The ribbon lined up exactly where it needed to. I'm just tucking the end of it under, but the little truck just keeps right on going, and it was almost like it was made to go around this size pot because it matched right up when it met up with the two ends. So that was interesting and unexpected. But now I've got some floral foam here. I'm just going to cut off a piece that I can use in the bottom of the pot. I'm going to press that down in, and then the second piece I'm going to add, I'm just going to use some hot glue to attach that there. That first piece is in there pretty good, but just adding some hot glue for the second piece to keep it anchored. I made sure that I didn't apply any glue to the center because I am going to be dropping my little arrangement, so to say, down through the center of it. So I want to make sure that the glue doesn't get in my way. Right now, I was trying to find something that I could wrap this around because I want to create kind of like not a curly Q, but you see what I'm trying to do. Essentially, I am going to make a tree that, well, all trees are narrow at the top and then get fuller, but oh my goodness, I don't even know how to describe this, so I should just let you watch what I'm doing here. I will say that I wanted it to be a certain amount of fullness, and I was curious right from the get-go whether I would need more than one of the ties. So as I worked through this, I did decide that I actually did want a second one. And I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to arrange or use the second one in conjunction with the first one. So I thought, well, maybe if I make another one, I might be able to kind of combine them somehow, kind of make one go around the other and have them like interweave with each other. So that's what I'm trying to do now. And so instead of wrapping it around the marker that I had done the first time, I thought, oh, you know what, maybe if I do it this way, it'll be automatically wider at the base and skinnier at the top, and maybe this would be an easier way to create the tree. And it was fine, but here you can see I'm trying to combine them. I'm twisting the tops together and trying to get this wrapped around, and I played with it for a good long while. I'm not going to put you through all of that, but I went ahead and tucked it down inside the pot and realized I really did not like the way it looked. I did fuss with it some more, quite a bit actually. I'm not going to put you through that either, but eventually I decided I did not like the way that it looked. So I started to pull it apart, decided I would do it with two tied together. So I left those kind of connected at the tippy top there, and I went to start over with creating my little tree here. Now I'm just wrapping it around my finger. That was probably the best way to do it, to be honest, because I was able to let it go a little bit wider as I went, and it was sufficiently tight. I did run into a little bit of a hiccup as I got to the piece the part where they were attached to each other, the two stems, for lack of a better term. So I had to kind of work with that a little bit. I think if I had started with them tied together from the get-go, it would have been perfectly fine and I wouldn't have had to manipulate it quite as much. But here I'm finally getting it to where I want it. I'm kind of squishing it down a little bit more, and I was finally like, yes, this is the way that I envisioned it in my head. I'm going to go ahead and tuck it back down inside my little pot. No glue required, just getting it upright. And now I have my little double-ended berry stems, wires, whatever you want to call these, ties. And I'm doing the same kind of thing that I did with the ribbon with the garland, where I'm sticking the end. I mean, first of all, I'm cutting the berries off, and then I'm sticking the end of it into my hot glue gun just to get a teeny tiny bit of hot glue on it. And then I'm tucking it right along the wire part, so in between the little needles, so to speak, so that the end is kind of camouflaged, and just tucking these in all along. And here we are with the final reveal. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the projects, remember to give me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know which one was your favorite, and remember there's a playlist, link in my description box, so please go out and check out those other crafters videos, give them some love, and until the next time, be well, be kind, and make it a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Take good care. Bye.